Hello, my name is Jack Cobourn, and welcome to the Founders Vlog for the week of July 13th, 2026. We're just going to be talking a little bit about how the channel's doing, and where we're going with it, and a couple of things that are going to be changed. Just, small things, nothing major. So, one thing we are going to be doing is trying to come up with more new series for the channel. I bought a ton of mystery games last year off of Humble Bundle, so I think we might try to do Mystery Mondays coming up soon. One thing we are doing, as I mentioned in Pieces of Pap this week, we are cutting back a little bit on the demo derbies. I tried to do 21 demos last week. That did not go well, so instead we're going to just do about 10 or 10, 12 demos a week. I think 4 days of demos are probably enough. And we're going to just be playing demos that we want to play here on this channel, that I want to play on this channel. It might seem like, oh, you're not going to get out of your comfort zone? No, we're still going to get out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is racing games, and I feel like if we did racing game demos for everything, you would just see everything on Sunday Driver. So I'm going to be playing a couple different things. One game that we will be playing definitely more of is our game of the week this week, Phantom Tower. If you haven't seen that demo on Monday, that, will be the idea for a new series coming up. Sorry about the light over there. I don't know why it keeps going out. I've adjusted it several times in order to make this video. So, if it flickers, it flickers. We could always use the money here at Alsatia Productions. And if you act now, no, I'm just kidding. You won't get a tote bag. You'll just get my eternal gratitude if you, decide to stump up a few bucks. But, we're working on that too, coming up with like a Patreon or Twitch kind of thing. One thing we are looking at doing is Sonic the Hedgehog for, I think, probably Sega Genesis or one of those kind of consoles. Simply because I want to try something different, and I feel like doing a bunch of Nintendo games just feels a little bit too like I'm painting myself into a corner for Retro Gaming Weekly. But that'll come after the World Cup, which will end for us next week. I think there'll be 2 semi-final games on Monday, and the third place game will be on Thursday. And then the final, I think I'll put out on Saturday. I haven't decided yet. This is just a brief thought that I've had. One other thing we're trying to come up with is a couple other types of series. I just bought Just Cause 2, which when it came out was one of my favorite games to play with a couple of my friends. So I think I'll do something in Just Cause 2. One thing definitely we're doing is, with turning down all the demos, we're going to try to come up with other series you might want to enjoy watching. Just Cause is something I think people would enjoy seeing me play. Definitely, I think I'm going to try to download Call of Duty Warzone onto the desktop. That is just out of shot here. And maybe do like Warzone Wednesdays. I haven't decided yet. Well, I'm coming up with stuff. Some ideas are here. It's nice to kind of be a little bit free from having to do all these demos. One thing I am trying to work on this week is film 2 episodes of Pieces of Pap back to back. Or at least get the games played that I want to play for Pieces of Pap. Because unfortunately, what winds up happening is, and here's a little bit of the sausage being made for this channel. Ew! I can hear Ralph in the background say. one of the things that winds up happening is I use a gaming journalism website, and it tells me what games are coming out. Now, weirdly enough, it doesn't tell me sometimes what AAA games are coming out. So I look around, I see what I can find. But what winds up happening is I write the script for Pieces of Pap pretty much throughout the week. I usually do it day by day. I take the games, I just kind of type up, a little synopsis, add the little bit for the demo derby portions for the demos where it's like, the visuals, the controls, the mechanics, the premise, the gameplay, whatever, and then that way I can just fill it in as I go, especially when I do the script on Sunday. I film Pieces of Pap on Sunday, I put the video together on Sunday. If you're wondering why I've been seeing more of my ugly mug on screen rather than screenshots of these games, it's just running out of, energy to pull 25 different screenshots, or, 2 screenshots per game for 25 different games, and then trying to do it all. I think just sitting in front, I'm getting a little more comfortable with just, sitting in front of a camera and talking, about stuff. I mean, here we are talking about what's going on with this channel here on the Founders Vlog. If I seem to be a bit rambly, it's I've been up since 2:20 this morning. God knows why. Well, actually, I do know why. I am a terrible insomniac. This is just what happens. So, what winds up happening is sometimes I can't sleep. Sometimes I write the Pieces of Pap script. Sometimes I wind up putting on headphones, listening to music or ASMR videos or whatever. Sometimes I'll just put on headphones and, play a Super Nintendo emulation on my computer and just see what I can do there. Just playing games is kind of like the point of this channel. Some stuff I'm trying not to, be like, oh, let's make content out of this. Some I'm just trying to keep for myself, and some I'm like, this is getting a little bit into the weeds. One game I would recommend playing, if you like Formula 1 games, is Super F1 Circus for the Super Famicom. I would 100% recommend it. You can get Super F1 Circus or Super F1 Circus Gaiden, which is just like Super F1 Circus is like the 91 edition, Gaiden is the 92 edition, and then they changed it to be all, instead of top down, it's like you're behind the car for Super F1 Circus 2. Weirdly enough, Gaiden doesn't count as the sequel, even though it's the 92 edition. And Super F1 Circus 2 covers 93. Well, anyway, I like playing those games, so I play those games quite a bit. Just when I have downtime, just when I need something else to do gaming-wise, I'll just do that. One thing I do like playing, and I don't know if I'll ever quite do it on this channel, at some point we probably will for Retro Gaming Weekly, is I like to play Tetris. There's that light again. But I like playing Tetris. I'll put on a podcast, and while I'm listening to the podcast, I just sit and, play Tetris. One podcast I would highly recommend watching, and they're not paying me to say this, I just really love their work, and as you can see, I have some of their merchandise on the top of my bookshelf. It's the Regulation Podcast. If you were a fan of Achievement Hunter, Jeff Ramsey and Gavin Free, along with Andrew Pannon, put out a podcast every week. They're joined by former Rooster Teeth producer Eric Bador and former Rooster Teeth sound engineer Nick Schwartz, and they just put out a podcast. It feels like lore about nothing is what it's literally, basically, deep lore about nothing is what they call it. And I just love watching it. It's like an hour. And I'll come home on a Wednesday after my day job and just, throw it on, play a little Tetris, and then when I'm bored of Tetris, I'll just pause it and come back to it later. Usually I just film a couple episodes of, whatever I'm trying to film for the week, to just fill some time, and then when I'm bored from doing that, I go back and watch more of the Regulation podcast. Well, anyway, again, told you it would be a little bit rambly because, hey, I've been up since 2:20 this morning. What time did you get up? But yeah, I'm trying new things. I'm trying to figure out new series and stuff like that. New stuff for Retro Gaming Weekly. I'm trying not to make this a racing game centric channel, so I'm definitely trying to step out of my comfort zone. It definitely sounds like I rip a lot of games on here. Some games are just terrible. Some games are just not my style, and I'll just come out and say it's not my style. Phantom Towers, surprisingly, it really just clicked with me. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time in the game, and I'm 5 floors up in this tower. I'm having a blast, and everything about it just felt right. It had that nice blend of retro feel, the nice blend of, hack and slash combat that doesn't feel intimidating or annoying to try to play. It's everything like The Gate Must Stand was not for me. And I really, really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend it. It was, a whole lot of fun to play. So yeah, like I said, that's spoiler game of the week, and yeah, I think you'll like it. I really kind of enjoyed that Forensic Detectives game that came out, that the developer worked with one of the German state police organizations to produce like a hyper-realistic game. I'm just like, I think if I'd gone the other way in the laboratory, you'll see in the video, I walk into the lab room and I immediately go over to the forensic soldering area. If I'd gone the other way and done the forensic computer with the password, it might have been a different kind of game. I totally, destroyed that microchip off that iPhone. And it's something, that's just something so exacting. If you like that kind of game, that's like a great job simulator, because how many people are actually going to become forensic technicians? I don't know, but that was a fun job simulator. I could go get a job at a cafe. So one thing I am trying to eliminate is games that I know just won't suit the editorial style of this channel. How many job simulators have we played in the past, 7 weeks of this, where I'm just like, oh, this is awful. Oh, why are we doing this? Or Factory, whatever it was called. I can't even remember it, and I personally don't even care to think about it. I was just digging a hole. Like I said in the video, I could go outside to my backyard, dig a hole, annoy all the birds that, hang around the feeders. But I could just dig a hole, and, I found ore. I actually made money. I made money in this game by digging ore. Well, do you get to keep it? Well, no, because it's a game. Okay. Okay, that makes no sense. A game about digging a hole, at least, is kind of interesting in a way. But, these, job simulators, at some point they're going to come out with Construction Flagger for, PC, and you're going to be a guy with a sign that says stop and slow, and you're going to have to do this, a whole bunch to, make the traffic stop and everything. It's just like, why are we doing this? Like, Power Wash Simulator looks fun. Like, I don't know why. That looks fun to play. But a job simulator where it's like you're coal mining. Why? Why? Why are we doing this? So, we're going to eliminate games that just, but it's not going to be the end of these kinds of games. It's just not going to be so prevalent on this channel. I mean, one thing is I would like to have more time to film to get ahead of things so that way I can produce more series. One thing I'm trying to build up a little bit of is, like I said last week, putting videos in the can. I mean, I shot 6 weeks of Trade Wins Thursdays for the original Trade Wins in like 2 days before the channel came. I mean, those Trade Wins videos had been sitting on my computer for about a year before we actually put them up. The plan really was to start this again in 2025. Time just was not on my side. I mean, truth be told, without, the staff at my day job backing me up and me being able to say, okay, yeah, I'll give some of my, what I do up so I can at least come home and shoot some of this stuff. It's been really nice to be able to get to do that kind of stuff. So I really do appreciate them for assisting me. But yeah, I mean, I really thought this was going to be a 5-minute video. It's now 17 minutes long. And really I thought it was going to be a 5-minute video because as soon as I finished it, I thought I'd just fall asleep right on the keyboard. But here we are. One thing I would like to try more of are adventure kind of games. So I think we'll kind of come up with an adventure block of past and present games that maybe don't always need to be a Retro Gaming Weekly thing. Or maybe we will throw some out on a Retro Gaming Weekly as part of this adventure block. I'm not really quite sure yet. One thing I'm trying to figure out is Minecraft. Getting that going with people, because I think a Minecraft series with my friends would be a good one to do. We're also trying to come up with, I'm also looking into, software so that I can screen share and we can have, podcasts and, watch me play games. Because I think having people for, a strategy Saturday, instead of me just talking about, the Alsatian Empire, the Fertile Crescent, we have my friends come on and we, shoot the breeze about, these games and, make jokes and riff, almost like Game Grumps or Funhouse or something like that. Just something different, but we're getting there. I mean, like I said, I would like to try to get ahead. After this weekend, I think I'll be able to, because I don't have a major obligation. Actually, this weekend I'm playing in the State Open tennis tournament for the state of Delaware, so that's kind of been my ethos for a couple weeks now, is practicing, but boy does practicing in the heat take a lot out of you. And I got, I'll come home and I'll, film 4 World Cup matches, and then by the 3rd World Cup match, I'm questioning reality. You don't hear it, because I'm actually really trying to do play-by-play. But at some point you'll just hear me go, and Mendoza passes, and I'll just fall off a cliff. So, one thing I think we'll do for the 2030 Retro Gaming Weekly World Cup is bring in other people to play some of the games of this World Cup, and maybe actually finally be able to do a group stage with all these people. I mean, we'll still have to do it in FIFA 98 because legitimately, like I keep saying in the videos, FIFA 98's the only one that has all the teams, except for, weirdly enough, Cape Verde. Like, if you would have said what team would not have been in, FIFA 98, I would have said, one of the, former Yugoslav Republic teams, like Bosnia-Herzegovina or Croatia or something like that, because FIFA 98 is kind of a product of its time, and those borders were, I unfortunately remember being a kid and seeing, coverage of what was going on over there and being, like, amazed that this is what was happening. I mean, a student of history, I am. So, I really thought when I was doing FIFA 98, Road to the World Cup, the team that wouldn't be in there would be, one of those, instead of Cape Verde, of all things. But we make this work, and, it's going well. One thing we are trying to do with the Grand Prix Audience Long Play is break into, different kind of games. I remember being a kid and thinking, when they come up with the, touring car mod for Grand Prix Legends, because they'd been talking about it for years. Like, game came out, they'd been talking about all these mods for years. And when I got back into Grand Prix Legends a couple of years ago, I was like, let me go look for this touring car mod I was promised when I was a child. No, still didn't come out, so I somehow found the R Factor mod, and you got to see me race the Cortina at Wigram, and that was kind of fun. So I think we'll do more jumping between car content. I mean, this week it's been kind of a pain in the neck trying to get NASCAR Racing 2003 to work to run the 65 Daytona 500. I finally have everything working almost perfectly for it. If you ever try to download old games onto a new computer, I mean, you need the patience of Job, and it's just like, oh my god, it is a pain in the neck to do this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm learning on the fly. This is stuff I can't even imagine. When I was 15, this is the kind of stuff I'd be doing. I always thought it was enough I was able to install tracks on Gene Rally by just downloading them and moving them into a folder, and hey, there they are. And wow, I'm hacking, But, it's all an adventure. I think that's one of the biggest things with this is it's all an adventure, is how any of this stuff works. That's how I'm treating it. It's, maybe something awesome comes out of this. I would really like to hope so. But it's been a lot of fun playing video games for the past 7 weeks and really just enjoying it. So if you haven't watched any of my videos, but this is the first thing that came across your feed, check out some of the gaming videos. I mean, some series have been shelved. Europa, I'm just not enamored with as much as I thought, so nobody's been watching those videos, so I've kind of just shelved them for the moment. We'll get back to them at some point. I'm having a blast with the Adventures of Elliot. Unfortunately, some idiot, and I think you're staring at the idiot, turned off his mic somehow when he was filming the last 2 parts of the Adventures of Elliot. So I have to actually go back and do a little bit of VO work in the editing software to get this to work. So if you're wondering why there's a lot of gameplay noise rather than me going, oh, look at this moron, oh, look at this idiot, it's because my vocal track was taken off, and I'm going to have to try to recreate it in VO, and it'll just be easier to do like 10 seconds of VO work every, couple minutes or so, and just throw it in there. Because one thing I'm trying to do with this kind of gameplay stuff is let the game tell the story itself, and every now and then add quippy remarks, except for Demo Derby, because Demo Derby is like, we're all experiencing this for the first time together. I mean, I can definitely remember sitting down to play Fallout 4 with my best friend Mike, and we were waiting for it to download, and we sat and played cards while we waited for it to download, and we were just riffing, oh, what do you think this game is going to be like? And then when the game started, when the game finally installed, and we continued to riff about, the things. I mean, dog meat is kind of one of the reasons Alsatian Productions has its mascot as, a German Shepherd. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long, strange 7 weeks doing this kind of stuff. It's been exciting. It's been frustrating at times too. Some of it has been soul-sapping, but I think we're learning what we like, what we don't like, what we're really good at, what we're not really good at, what people maybe want to see, maybe don't want to see. We're never playing another visual novel again. I can 100% safely say the visual novel that we would wind up playing multiple hours of would have to be something so... I mean, it would have to be a Diana Wynne Jones, visual novel for me to even want to sit down and play it. I absolutely hated that Omen Exito, or whatever it was called. That was, just buy a book at that rate. And frankly, I mean, it just is what it is. Some games just don't land. I mean, visual novels are great, I guess, if you want people to read books. But, I mean, I read books every day. Let me actually, really quick, since the World Cup is coming out anyway, and I've definitely talked about this in one of the videos, if you're a fan of soccer, or you've just become a fan of soccer, congratulations. It's an interesting sport. One thing I would highly recommend reading is this book called Brilliant Orange by David Winner. It just kind of explains how Dutch culture shaped their soccer team and how their soccer team kind of shaped Dutch culture. And it's a really good book. I mean, I first read it in college, and every 4 or 5 years or so I just sit down and read it. I never read it really in time with the World Cup. I just kind of think, sometimes I'll just pull it out and, read it. One of my colleagues at work is, taking a vacation over to the Netherlands. And so I bought him a copy of the book, and I just thought, you know what, I'll just read it while because I bought a new copy of it for someone, and I just thought it would be a, cool thing to do. So yeah, if you like soccer, give that a try, because it's a really fun read to do. It breaks down Dutch culture. I mean, it's really interesting to see how that all works out. I mean, if you're into fiction books, Leslie Charteris's The Saint series, which came out 100 years ago, is still a prime example of very good fiction. Of course, you probably have heard of The Saint from the Roger Moore television series or the film starring Val Kilmer, but I watched this series of films of The Saint played by a guy named George Sanders from the 1930s and early 40s and thought, you know what, I remember these are books and I would like to read these books. So I pretty much have bought about 20 of the 50 Saint novels and short story collections that came out over a 58-year span. I definitely would highly recommend it. There are a little bit of anachronisms that, make you go, oh, really? But it doesn't feel weird or uncomfortable in the way sometimes James Bond kind of feels. James Bond kind of feels like, wow, Bond kind of gets away with a lot of weird things that probably nobody should have been getting away with. But Simon Templar, nah. It's not like that with him, really. So, I would highly recommend that. Again, this has been a bit rambly. I do apologize. But yeah, this is where we're going with the channel. I really hope you stick around and see what we can do. Like I said, I'm trying to get about 2 weeks ahead, just so we can start filming other things without needing to feel like the day-to-day stuff for new games is going to drag us down. Like I said, I have to kind of get into the VO area and fix the Adventures of Elliot, film them. I'll do a batch recording of Trade Winds Thursdays. It might not come out. It definitely isn't coming out this week. It might come out next week. We're still working on it. Definitely Sonic the Hedgehog will be our next Retro Gaming Weekly series. I talked about Star Fox in the Curacao Cape Verde game. Stay tuned for Star Fox at 9 p.m. That didn't come out. I'm still kind of getting used to playing it, and I'm not that good, and I just don't want 25 weeks of me being stuck on the first 2 levels for you guys. I don't think, not that I'm such a perfectionist. Oh, I failed. I need, it's more of, it's one reason why I don't want to play Super Mario Brothers right away in front of you, is I'm not that good at it. I love it, don't get me wrong. It's a challenge. But if I'm going to do a Super Mario Brothers series, you're going to see me with somebody, you're either going to see me with somebody else play it, or you're going to hear somebody else with me, so it'll be more like a Game Grumps video where it's Aaron and Dan, and Aaron's playing and, messing up and freaking out about it. It'll probably be more like that because I feel like Super Mario Brothers lends itself to comedic intrigue rather than, there are people who take Super Mario Brothers a little too seriously. I think, Aaron Hansen plays it up for comedic effect, and that's kind of what I would like to do. But once again, we need to have a second person, because otherwise it just sounds like a crazy man, ranting and raving about, Super Mario Brothers, and it's not that serious. But if you have somebody else to bounce it off of, and then, you can talk about other things, too, what kind of albums do you listen to, and that kind of stuff. So anyway, I know, like I said, this has been a bit rambly, but honestly, thank you so much for listening. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, please watch some of our videos. Hope you stick around. If you have been watching the channel, thank you so much. Please do like and subscribe. We have 5 subscribers. We've kind of been stuck on that for the past couple of weeks. I'd like to just see some more subscribers, if only because maybe people are kind of liking my honest, style of play. I really do not try to upsell perfection in gaming ability here at all. Anytime I have to do a re-record of something, it has nothing to do with oh, I messed this up, or, it's usually some kind of technical error, especially with, like, the Grand Prix Legends stuff. I don't really care if I win the Grand Prix. I don't care if I'm going to win the Daytona 500 on Sunday Driver this week. If, I'm still trying to figure out how I want the AI level to be, because I had it set at 70%, last night, and I got through the field in the first lap from 43rd on the grid, and I didn't like that too much. I thought that was kind of dumb, but that's where we're at with that. So, thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to be notified of our next gaming video. If you like this kind of content, we are working on, I am trying to come up with, like, podcasts and things to put out for it. And, at some point I would like to film some skits. I have some skits ideas to go through with people. But yeah, if you like the gaming content, keep tuning in, because, hey, guess what? We're going to just keep producing it and, trying to just invade people's, timelines or what For You pages, because that's kind of the idea of it all, is, just trying to get eyeballs on it. Maybe, unfortunately, people aren't sticking around as much as I thought, but that's okay. Again, please do, because, it's a lot more fun when people watch my videos and comment and stuff, and we can, talk about, as bad as social media is, and again, I'm trying to end this video, I'm doing a Jeff Ramsey here, I'm trying to end the video, and I just can't. As bad as social media is, and especially with the EU trying to, deal with the social media regulations and everything, comment on my videos, because I read the comments, and I'll respond. I follow people. Anybody who comments on my video, Alsatia Productions will just follow them. Or subscribe to them, just because, even if you guys don't subscribe, and please do subscribe, it is just like something I like to do, is just give people a follow, because I want to see what their art is, what they like to do. I follow Clash of Clans creator and stuff like that. I think that's kind of cool. It's fun. It's fun to, interact with people, in a not so negative way. Making videos and stuff like that is, fun. My creaky chair and I, we've been doing this a very long time, trying to get this to work, so we would like you to stick around for a little while longer. Anyway, here comes the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching my Founders Vlog. If you want to see more Founders Vlogs, they're up on YouTube in a special playlist. We put everything in playlists by games and series and stuff like that, so you can find it easier. And if you want to learn more about gaming content, tune in at 9 a.m. on Monday for Pieces of Pap. And if you want to see what games are coming out this week, Demo Derby, we'll probably pick like the top 10 games and see, or at least the top demos we think sound cool. And then if you want to see some guy race a car, Sunday Driver, strategy games, Strategy Saturday, watch me play Freefall 95 on Fridays. Whatever floats your boat, give it a try. Hit that notification bell to be notified about our next video. And yeah, we'll see you next time here on Alsatia Productions. My name, as always, and always will be, is Jack Cobourn. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful week wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye. This has been a presentation of Alsatian Productions. Blah, blah, blah.